So welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here. For today on the show, we're having the best way to starting up the week and to finish up an epic day because we have on the show the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the legendary, the one and only, even a superhero, the incredible Jessica. Jessica, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Be fantastic. I mean, as I was saying before, what better way to have an incredible, super badass evening than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what I mean?
Aw, you're so honestly, I'm so happy to be here. I've been looking forward to this all day.
There you go. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps a lot. But also, on the description below, you're gonna find all of Jessica's social media. Let's follow her and let's find out why she's super badass. We're on a mission right now.
You're so sweet.
Without further ado, let's jump in. So, I want to start this whole conversation by
Mm.
throwing out the first question, which is, when you first stepped into acting, what did you think it would give you, and what has it given you?
I kind of grew up around it because I started doing musical theater at a very young age. And I just can't imagine a life without it. If anything, when I travel and I meet people, like if I go to Pennsylvania or like Virginia or something like that, and I meet people who don't really have that experience, it kind of baffles me because I just can't imagine not having access to that at all times. It's just what I've always done and it's what I've always loved. And it's always been a part of me. It's never been a question. As for like what it has given me, complete and utter fulfillment. It's definitely a very uncertain line of work to go into, but I love it so much. And I've never questioned that that's what I'm meant to do, which is a huge blessing. I know there are like people who have a hard time finding what their purpose is or what their passion is and finding that direction. And I'm very grateful to have the struggle in which I know what that is. And now it's a matter of pushing for it. Like anytime I'm acting or anytime I get to create art or become this character or just express, it is, in my opinion, the most human. It's embodying the human experience. And I just can't imagine life without it.
Was there anything else you wanted to be? I don't know, doctor, lawyer, police. Like, what was? I mean, was it
Ugh.
something like that, or was the whole way just acting?
I think it was always a form of art, like because I'm also a musician, I'm also a dancer. I was in a dance company for, 2 or so years and professionally trained in ballet. And again, starting with musical theater, dance was always my favorite part of musical theater. And there was a long time where I thought dance was actually going to be it. And then I actually fell out of acting for a couple years when I went to college, and I just really got enveloped in dance and music, if anything. But then I just recently, not necessarily recently, maybe about 2 years ago, that was when it was this re realization of my love for it. And so there's never really been a question. Like, I just know that I was given these passions and these talents and skills for a reason. And I pursue that reason. So yeah, I don't think there was ever anything else for me.
So you're basically doing everything.
Yeah. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Pretty cool. I started to discover why you're badass. Just saying.
Oh, thank you. You are
Pretty
too.
cool. And tell
Yeah.
me, once you decided, to make it as a career, what has been some of the kind of obstacles, right, that you had to encounter in order to
Mm.
keep moving forward on your career?
Oh man, there's a lot of obstacles. None of them are big enough to stop. I don't think any of them are big enough to stop an artist that has true love for the craft. And a lot of the obstacles would include like uncertainty or a feeling of insufficiency or fear of rejection. But I think those all come hand in hand, and that's where a lot of the growth comes. Because if you fall in love with the character and you don't book it, it's just like why didn't like you just wonder why, and you just kind of reflect on your craft and where it is you might have taken a wrong turn, or and you also kind of like learn this idea of and like you learn how to not take it personally. And I think that's a life skill just in general that acting can provide. So those are definitely some of the biggest obstacles of being an actor is when's my next gig and will I like the character and what happens if I don't get it. So
And have you found that playing characters sometimes reveals truths about yourself, perhaps that at that point you didn't want to face?
yes, so many times. Oh my God. Like, I don't want to say that acting is therapy because I don't want people to confuse it necessarily as like it is a craft for sure, but it is a very therapeutic craft that can be very rewarding if you choose to look at it through that lens. And I think it's a great way to reflect because when you're acting, you get to be a part of a life story that you personally haven't experienced, and you really have to think about how would I react to this situation, whether or not it's good or bad. And you get to feel all of the emotions of that character, which maybe I wouldn't have felt this like in my lifetime because I am not that character. Like that is not my personal story as Jess. So there's definitely been times where there has been a character or there's been a scene where, there was a form of, heartbreak or rejection, but the character handles it in a different way than I would. And it's something that I kind of go home thinking about and use as a skill for the next time for like, should I find myself in that situation? It's really cool, actually.
Tell me what has been harder for you, the moments of failure or the moments of success, and why?
I feel like the natural answer is to say the failure because no one likes failing. no one likes no one likes feeling like they did a bad job. But at the same time, I think there is gravity to the moments of success because there's imposter syndrome that we all struggle with of like, do I deserve this? Like, did I like there's someone else who works just as hard as me, so why did I get it? So I think there's pros and cons to both of those, but I think the natural answer for everyone just being human is the rejection.
And speaking about
Yeah.
rejection, tell me how you handled it, right? I mean, as you were saying, nobody likes being rejected. It sucks for sure.
No one likes
So
rejection.
how you handle it, in order to not let yourself, being compromised or your day might get affected by those things.
Yeah. I well, actually, this is something I heard probably this week. I have a new roommate that just moved in and she does musical theater and she was listening to a podcast. So don't quote me on the statistic. This is what she told me. But she told me that she heard it takes 64 no's to get a yes as an actor. It might be 67. It's definitely not 67. That's the trend. It takes 64 auditions to book something. And that's just the average like statistic. But in order to get there, you have to get through the 63 no's and know that it's not you, but it's more so there are so many people pursuing this, and you might not be the right fit for something for some reason. You're just not what they're shopping for. And it doesn't change the experience and the skill and the work that you've put into it or the love that you have for the character or for the craft. So when I do get rejected, it's natural. I do get attached to the characters. I fall in love with the characters that I even auditioned for. But I also think that's the thing about it is that you want them because you love them to be played by the right person. So yeah, I get upset. There are times I cry, but I also acknowledge that there was going to be another character that is right for me, and there's another actor that is right for them. But I feel it. I feel it all. I get upset. And again, that's just a life lesson that you have to take, just even outside of acting. Like, I mean, you could apply that to college or sports or love, like that, just that idea of like, why not me? But also the right thing will come to me. Like, I will end up in the right place or with the right person or doing the right thing. So,
Tell me, in arts in general, what has been some of the things that they have taught you in order for you to continue on your personal develop to become a better person or a better version of yourself?
to be honest, I think like acting and art, whether it's music or dance, I think art is one of the best ways to grow as a person. Like it's one of the most reflective things you can do. And I think it really forces you to dig into your psyche and into your emotions and into your heart to channel a character or to write a song or to create a dance that you're just like, wow. The goal is always to encompass the audience. Like no, most art has a point, most art has a statement or a philosophy that they're trying to get across. That's what we've always done. You look at the French Revolution, you look at all the paintings that have come out of that, and all of the art pieces that have come out of that. They're all making a statement. They're an expression of how that artist is feeling, and that is, in my opinion, the meaning of art is to reflect and look inwards and I guess address those things. Again, it's a very therapeutic experience. It's not necessarily therapy, but it makes you hyper aware of yourself. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Do you think the pursuit of recognition changes an actor's relationship with their craft?
I think that differs from person to person. I know that some people are in it for like the fame or the clout, but other people are in it just for the love of the craft. Like I know I do free stuff. I do free gigs and shows because I just love acting in general. But I'm well aware of the draw of, fame and money and glory. And some people can definitely be in it for the wrong reasons, or frankly, it can turn into that, like the more, the bigger that you get. But I would say, yeah, I would say for some people it does, and for others it doesn't. It really is dependent on that person's moral compass and where their heart truly lies. And that's something only they know.
What's the most beautiful lie you have to tell on screen, or the most painful truth you've had to embody?
I one time had to play an abusive partner. That was probably the hardest role I've ever had to do in my life because I'm not that type of person. Like I'm very much like a very gentle person and care so much about people and their feelings, and I just don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And so yeah, I played this role where I was the abusive girlfriend in this partnership, and it was a lot of like pushing and shoving and yelling and a lot of like belittling lines, like saying like, like you're not good enough, like blah blah blah, just like this really gaslighting narcissistic character. And it made me feel genuinely icky. Like we would cut and I would like turn to her and be like, "Are you okay? Like I'm so like, are you okay?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Are you?" And I was like, "Yeah, but like, are you like I feel so bad." So I think that was the hardest thing that I've ever had to embody, and it was really emotionally taxing. I remember the drive home, I was just like trying to breathe and like let go of that energy because that's not something I wanted to carry with me. But I think that's also something I learned out of that is that I will never be that type of person, nor do I ever want to be. Um,
How do you protect your own identity when you're constantly
Mm.
sleeping into the lives of others?
I know a lot of people have their own philosophies about acting and acting methods. I personally, the method that I use is more so I don't separate my identity. Personally play all of my characters as if they are me and I am them. And I look at a role and I'm like, how would I react to this? And yeah, each character has their own mannerisms. Maybe they're a little more introverted and I'm an extrovert. So I kind of have to think about what it's like to be like an introvert and look at it from that lens. But I don't personally like separating myself from the character, but more so I kind of like the character absorbs me. And I feel like it adds more depth that way. And I think that's also how you get like a more reflective experience. I think that's how you learn more. That's how I feel like I grow as a person out of acting. And I feel like that's what adds dimension to the character because we'll be thinking about things that happened in my life to embody like a certain emotion that I feel like the character would be displaying in that moment. So if anything, I don't necessarily I don't think I separate them. I think I actually marry them.
And
Mm.
what are some of the things that you usually do to kind of return to be the real you? Is there, I don't know, like a specific activity, song, food, something to kind of get you back on the real you?
I think it's the people I surround myself with. Like you know how when you travel and you go on a big trip or like you've been gone for 2 or 3 weeks on vacation, you get home, like you get off the plane and you still feel like you're in vacation mode. And it's not until you like actually physically walk through your door that you're like, okay, I'm home. I genuinely feel that way when it comes to set. Like I can wrap a scene, but if I'm still on set, I'm still kind of in acting mode, like work mode. And it's not really until I get home and I see like my bedroom and my things and my roommates and my people, that I'm like, that's right. Like this is my life. This is my sacred space. These are like this is my sacred energy. So yeah, I just kind of come home to that, and I step through my door, and then I'm like, I'm Jess. So
If storytelling is a mirror of humanity, what part of humanity do you hope your work reflects?
I think that like traveling and talking to people is one of the best ways to gather life experience and wisdom. I really value wisdom. I value listening to other people and what they've gone through. And I think that's what art does is it makes people wise because it is always telling a story. And I feel like some people get really afraid of sharing their story, especially with like TikTok and social media. Like everyone's afraid of posting because they're like, oh, what are people going to say about it? But that's the whole point is to share you should always share your piece. You should always share your art because if people judge you, it doesn't change who you are, why you thought that, or like the core of your being. So I think that art really just reflects the beauty of expressing and sharing, because we get to, like, we're alive and we think, and we're the only creatures that think. So why would you not share what you're thinking? You know?
What is the cost of vulnerability for you? Not just in front of the camera, but in life.
My guy friends play poker a lot, and they always say scared money don't make money. And I feel like that's very applicable here, where if you're not vulnerable with yourself and share those vulnerabilities, you're not going to get that back. You're not going to get that closeness with people. You're not going to get that self reflection or that self growth if you aren't willing to look at it in the face. So if you want to say what's the price, it's priceless. You have to do it. I'm extremely open about, my past, my history, my dating life, like my interests, my opinions. I'm very open about it. So
And has that somehow has, I mean, I wouldn't say harm, but perhaps like affected or somehow, has touched those things in your personal life?
the more I elaborate on why I resonate with the character, the more likely I am to get a response from the casting directors. And I think that's because they value the connection that I have with the character, especially if it's a darker character or if it's like a bittersweet kind of scene or show. And that is the value of vulnerability. Like, rather than, like, I feel like especially in LA, there's this idea of like, put your best face forward and don't show anyone your dark side. Don't show anyone like your flaws. Like, post the highlights of your life. But I think people really value authenticity, and I enjoy sharing what I've gone through because I feel like it creates a space where people feel comfortable sharing it back. So if anything, I've noticed that it's actually really beneficial to share. So
Yeah, and I think especially now in this day and era, people is demanding more to be honest with yourself. You know what I mean?
oh yeah.
It's actually like more real, and you can get the chance to connect with real people who is
Hmm.
maybe feeling the same way as you do, or perhaps they felt something like you felt some time ago, things like that. You know what I mean? So I do
Hmm.
agree that at the end of the day, if you're able to be open with yourself like all the time, especially now, you open the door to really honest people to come back inside. I mean, to go inside your life and
Yeah.
to actually help you somehow. You know what I mean?
That's not even necessarily in regards to a character, acting, or casting director. That also is just like actors that you support or artists that you support. When you really see that they've gone through a hardship and they really like fought tooth and nail and like built themselves from the ground up. Like, you look at Britney Spears and you see like, her, like, where she came from and what she like became, like, or like any artist like of that nature. Like, it makes you like realize that you can do it too. And like, they are human beings. Like, they are people. That's the beauty of sharing your story. I like, especially, I love listening to the SAG Award speeches because I always get really inspired anytime I watched them. And I remember Jennifer Coolidge did this one speech where she talked about how she fell into acting because her dad pulled her out of school one day and took her to a Charlie Chaplin festival. And then she was just like, I need to do this. And then just never stopped. But she, like, she wasn't, the kid of someone who was already famous, but it was her love and her determination that got her to where she was. Or you look at Dominic Fike and his past and look at where he is, and it's just inspiring.
Do you believe your art will outlive you? And if so, what do you hope it says?
I don't know if it will. I hope it does. And if it does, I really just want people to, I guess, to like resonate, to like never feel alone. Like, I want them to like look at the things that I do or the characters that I play or the music that I write and say like, man, this thing that I'm going through, she went through it too. Like, this character, like, this character is going through it because the writers made this, and art imitates life. Like, this is inspired by something. And I think art in general makes you feel less lonely, and I want to make people feel less alone.
There you go.
So
I'm pretty much sure that you already do that. So that's pretty cool.
I hope so. I really do.
Pretty cool. Now,
Makes me feel
jumping
less
to,
lonely.
yeah, absolutely. And especially now, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
totally. Now,
All
moving to our next section, speed round questions, yes, no, or pass. Super simple. Gonna ask you a couple
right.
of questions in which you can only answer yes, no, or pass. You ready?
Let's go.
Okay. So, do you believe every role changed you?
Yes.
Have you ever turned down a role you still think about?
Yes.
Do you think rejection is a gift?
Yes.
Is acting more about truth than talent?
No.
Is starting small underrated?
No.
Have you ever felt more at home in a character than in your own skin?
Ooh. Yes. Yes, I want to say yeah.
Do you believe success without pain exists?
No.
Have you ever considered leaving acting behind?
Yeah.
Do you think
Yes,
the
I have.
world still values great storytelling over quick entertainment?
Yes.
And do you believe patience is more valuable than speed in a creative career?
Yes.
Okay, pretty cool. I love it. Now, before wrapping up here, just a few more questions. Tell me, if this conversation was the last time you ever spoke about your craft, what would you want to leave behind in people's hearts?
If you are an artist and you have the desire to create, then do it. Don't create art for other people or other the validation of others. Make art because it's what you want to do and it's what fulfills your soul. And if you happen to be successful in it, then that's the cherry on top. But don't lose your why. Never lose your why.
I'm gonna drop the mic because you're basically killing it here. So
Thank you.
I love it.
That's what I believe. Yeah.
That's it. There you go. There you go. And my last question here, so we can all enjoy and relax after an epic chat here. Tell me, what do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
I don't know. I'm really honoring the arts, like art imitates life kind of sentiments. Maybe art imitates life.
Sounds good to me. Who knows? Maybe we are speaking about the next big project. We already give it a title at some point. Who knows?
Yeah. Ooh.
You know what I mean? I mean, what can I say? I love what you do. The fact that you're doing what makes you happy, that's pretty cool. I mean, we all know that doing something outside the typical 9 to 5 tends to be a little
Hmm.
bit painful sometimes and lonelier every now and then. But you make it happen. I
Yes.
mean, and like the thing that I love the most is that you're not also. I mean, you're not only creating cool stories, cool characters for us to enjoy. You're also showing that dreams can come true. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that
Aw.
is a very powerful message and super positive. And I think positivity is what we need, especially right now in this
Yes.
crazy time we're currently living in. The fact that we can rely on you, that you're showing us that everything's possible. That's pretty cool. That's badass. And now we discover why you're badass. So what can I say?
Oh my god. No, I'm literally like, that's so sweet. I don't even know what to say to that because I guess that actually is. I appreciate you pointing that out because it's hard not to get down on myself sometimes and wonder why I'm not further than where I am. But also, I guess it's really cool to hear that from another person because I guess you're right. I wasn't where I am now 3 years ago, so
And
it's a cool thing
you
to
know,
think about.
totally. And not gonna lie, I was talking about this the other day that I just stopped watching the news because it's just another bad thing after the next bad thing after the next bad thing. I mean, it,
Hmm.
it it got to a point in which I was like, okay, this is too much, too much going on here. And at least to me, I use this podcast to kind of as my happy place to be like, hey,
Yeah.
there's actually good people out there who are doing their best,
Yeah.
to show out there that you can actually have a good time if you're able to pursue what makes you happy. Sure, there's gonna be a lot of hard work, but at the end of the
Hmm.
day, I do think that if you're doing something that makes you happy, that is actually your passion, no matter
Hmm.
how longer the sessions might be or the schedule or things like that, at
Yes.
the end you're not gonna feel that tired as if you were doing something you don't want to at all. You know what I mean? So
Hmm. I remember I had this friend in high school and she had the most wise dad. I loved him. But he said, when you find your passion, you'll find your purpose. And when you have purpose, you won't feel like you're working. And I just kind of like took that to heart because I was like, you're right. Like I know there are people who work a 9 to 5 and make a lot of money and then they go out and they play with their money and their vacation time. And then I know people who their life is their work because they love their work, like they don't wake up and dread going to work. They don't mind working the long hours because it's their purpose, like it's their passion. And that's how I've always personally seen it, where, there's the notion of like the starving artist. I would say I kind of resonate with that because I would much rather, get paid less to do something I love than get paid $1 million to do something that doesn't fulfill me. And I will happily live in a smaller house and drive a normal car. Like I don't have an issue with those things because the real value in life to me is creating, is my craft. And I'll do anything. It is the love of my life. I'll always put it first.
man, you are just giving only the right answers here. What can I say? Pretty cool.
Thank you.
Pretty cool. I mean, I think you surpassed badass. You're not kind of legendary now. Just saying.
Oh my god, no, I'm not legend. Wait, that's I think that's the highest compliment I've ever received.
Really cool. All right. You know, yeah, I mean, at the end, it's pretty much, yeah, it's amazing what you do. Keep doing it because you're definitely making like a positive impact here. I do want to thank also those who stayed the whole episode. Let us know what you think in the comments below. But also by this
Oh,
point, come on, you should know why Jess is super badass. Let's make her viral. Hashtag Team Jess. And again, thank you for
please
making this
support my
happen.
art.
Keep shining out there, keep rocking, keep kicking ass, and I'll definitely be seeing you in the next one.
Yay.
All right.